Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial for ethical hacking and penetration testing with Kali Linux. In this tutorial I'll be teaching you more about mapping networks and gathering more information about them. So the best tool that we would be using as of now, till now we have used a lot of different tools, but now I would be using something different and it would be the DNS map. So if you have gone through all my previous tutorials, then it will be quite easy for you to understand what this does exactly, else you won't be able to. So what DNS map tool does is that it obtains all A records. By A records I mean IP addresses that are associated to each successfully brute force subdomain, and rather than just one IP address per subdomain, it will gather all IP addresses through brute force techniques. After that, it can go and abort the brute forcing process in the case the target domain uses wildcards. And it has the ability to be able to run the tool without providing a word list by using a built-in list of keywords. So I don't need to actually go ahead and provide different tools for them, different file list for them to go ahead and brute force. It has its own inbuilt word supplied. And brute force can also be used by using a user supplied word list if I have one. I can also go ahead and save the results in a human readable and CSV format for easy processing. It has improved built-in subdomains word list, and it has even new bash script such as a DNS map -bulk sh, and it is a Linux format. It includes all of those things which allows running DNS map against a list of domains from a user supplied file, that is brute forcing several domains in a bulk fashion. Bypassing of signature-based DNS map detection by generating a proper pseudo-random subdomain when checking for wildcards, and this is the unique feature of DNS map. So you might be wondering why to use DNS map tool rather than going ahead and downloading some random other file. The reason being that DNS map is free. It is useful when finding interesting remote access servers. It is also useful in finding badly configured or unpatched servers, finding new domain names, which will allow you to map the non-obvious and hard to find network blocks. Sometimes you can also find that some brute force or some brute forced subdomains resolve to internal IP addresses, that's RFC 1918, and this is a great as sometimes they are really up to date A records, which means that it is possible to enumerate internal servers of the target organization from the internet by only using the DNS resolving and nothing else, which is quite useful there, so that it will not even leave a target that you have actually targeted this company, and which is actually opposite to what zone transfers do, for instance. DNS mapping can also discover embedded services configured using DNS dynamic services. So it has all of these features in total. So now I would teach you how we can go ahead and use this. So again, the same thing: applications, Kali Linux, information gathering, DNS analysis, and we have DNS map over here. So you can see that I can supply my own word list if you want, or the regular list file that it has already inbuilt, and delay in milliseconds as to when it wants to repeat the process. And these are the IPs to ignore, these are the false positives, and the CSV result file, which I don't know what exactly it is. So I'll show you how we can go ahead and gather information. First thing that you need to do is you need to go ahead and select a target. You can go ahead and move to your pentest directory. So I'll just text cd/pentest if I have it. Okay, I don't have the pentest directory, never mind. I will just start it in a random way. So what I will do is I'll just type, let's say, dnsmap google.com. Let's check what we get. 10 millisecond delay is there between different requests, so that Google does not ban us out. Okay, perfect. We have the IP address and the IPv4 and IPv6 address of the admin. The accounts for google.com, we have that as well. Let's check what more we get. ap.google.com, good. I believe it has lots of IPv4 ap.google.com IP addresses. This is one way of using DNS mapping using a 10 milliseconds delay. If I don't use the delay, I will get something else. Okay, we have received the billing information. So as we can see that all of these above the DNS map has scanned, are all the subdomains of the Google along with the A records, that is the IP address of Google subdomains. Now these IP addresses or IPv6 addresses are the simplest way of using DNS map. In order to perform a more deep search, there are several advanced options that we can use in DNS tool. So I'll just go ahead and quit this right now, and I'll show you how we can go ahead and use this. I can use a -w to use the word list, or I can use the -r to go ahead and get the regular result list that it has inbuilt the brute force files, CSV as I told you. So examples for using these options would be something like that. If you have a custom word list of subdomains, you can use that, as well as by simply specifying the -w argument and then the path to the word list. So you can just type DNS map google.com -w and xyz period list period txt and -r /temp/domain bf_results period txt. So what it will do is that it will go ahead and save all of these files under the wtxt file, xyz period txt file, under the temporary directory of the domain bf_results file. And if you already have one, then you don't need to go ahead and specify the w or the word list. You can just simply type DNS map google.com -r/tmp/d. 300 would be 3000 would be the milliseconds that it would be using, and you can just go ahead and hit enter, and it will straight away go ahead and use the default file and save all of these in the temp directory. And there is one more method of doing that. While this runs, I'll go ahead and show that to you using the built-in word list, as I believe -r is for the built-in word list. And now if you wanted to go ahead and save these things, let's try it for something different. Let's try for Microsoft.com. So I'll type DNS map.com -r period /subdomain brute force _results period txt, and I'll hit enter. So what it would do is it would go ahead and create this directory and save everything inside the subdomain brute force _results, and it will gather all the DNS queries that it has and save it inside that. So let's check if we first get these information. I think the DNS query is quite slow at this point of time. That's why it's unable to get multiple requests within 10 milliseconds. Okay, we have the first IP address for 64.4.16 and 215, and these IP addresses will give you an idea or hint as to what will be their range of IP addresses using in their whole company. That means from where to where would be the range, and what range are they using as of now, so that it will be easier for you to go ahead and get an access into their computers. So yes, this is how the DNS mapping looks like. So enough with the DNS stuff about information gathering. We have several tools, but just gathering information won't be enough to go ahead and attack you. I will also be showing you the DNSR, even num6, tracer, DNSWalk, and Fierce, and I have shown you all of these things remaining, but I will be showing you these in the next tutorial. And as of now, I would be starting with social engineering and how you can go ahead and create your own keylogger, or you can place one that you have which is inbuilt in Kali Linux, and Kali Linux has n number of let me just show it out to you rather than saying it out. It would be the Metapreter command, so it would be Metasploit. So I'll just type msf console, so you can see it for yourself that the number of payloads or the number of viruses including Trojans or hacking into someone's webcam, gathering information remotely through Metapreter command, or opening an SSH command file, command prompt from anyone else's computer on your computer, or PowerShell command. You can also go ahead and do these things just by using the Metasploit console. So let's go ahead and check this out first. How many payloads we have, how many viruses we have inbuilt. And it does not only have Trojans or viruses for Windows computer. We can also go ahead and use these to hack into another one's Linux distribution or a Mac distribution as well. Hit start. It can take quite a bit of time depending upon the speed of your processor. Okay, perfect. So we have a total of 1,389 exploits, out of which 788 are auxiliary and 223 are post. Auxiliary means the viruses which we need to go ahead and implement before we go ahead and hack into the PC, and 223 are the ones that we get after we go ahead and hack into the PC. With that I mean that, let's say once you have gained access to someone else's computer but you don't have the system access, the root access, at that point of time we need to go ahead and use some of the remaining out of these 223 posts, and we have the payloads, a total of 37, out of which 8 are NOPs and 37 are encoded. So yes, and if you want to gather the whole version, you can still download the whole version over here at rapid7.com, the people who are developing Metasploit. So that would be it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial I'll be starting with social engineering and stuff, and how we can go ahead and create phishing web pages that I showed you in one of my previous tutorials. I would be creating that live, and I'll be showing you how we can go ahead and create that manually.